Oh boy, I'm excited today. This is great. I'm so thrilled, Ben. I
Me
can't believe
too.
we're finally getting to do this. It's a real treat for me. Um,
We're
what?
finally getting to the best piece of Gerry Anderson's work, I think.
Well, I think so. We're
Hey, what's
watching.
that? What's on your desk there? That looks like
Yeah.
a bunch of investigator paraphernalia.
Well, yeah.
But
I
we're not
thought
watching The Investigator.
I thought that's what we were doing today. You said
No.
you hang you said that we were
Right.
going to be watching a Gerry Anderson production filmed in Malta.
I did say that. That's true.
Right? You said it was going to be about something tiny that runs aimlessly around an island. Right?
Yes,
That's what you
yes.
said. You said
This is
it
correct.
revolved around the theft of something precious, but not all that important in the grand scheme of things, right?
I said all of these things.
And you said it featured a lot of wooden acting, which, right, puppets, haha, I get it, but like...
All of that is there and present, but we're not watching The Investigator, Jack. We're watching It Could Be Practically Anywhere on the Island.
Oh, haha. Yeah. All right. I get it. April 1st, April Fool's Day. We're watching It Could Be Practically Anywhere on the Island. The reportedly the worst episode of anything ever produced ever. Sure. Very funny. What? All right. We're not watching The Investigator. I can't imagine we're watching It Could Be Practically Anywhere on the Island. But what are we actually watching?
Well, I hate to break it to you, Jack. See, originally this started as an April Fool's joke, but I've actually watched It Could Be Practically Anywhere on the Island, and now, well, I don't have anything else ready, so I think we have to talk about It Could Be Practically Anywhere on the Island.
I'm very sad. Right, well, it's the podcast that gets smuggled into New York every week attached to the collar of a poodle. It's the Security Hazard Show.
And your host, a gentleman who takes his liver cooked in milk. It's none other than the greatest Gerry Anderson writer of them all, the greatest Gerry Anderson blogger of all time. April Fool. It's just Jack Knoll. Everybody. Hello, Jack.
Oh, thanks for kicking me while I'm down. Really appreciate that.
You're right. That was a low blow, especially after I led you to believe we were going to talk about The Investigator, and then we didn't.
There, you happy now? I've got my protectors prop out.
Your one Protectors merch.
I
love that for The Investigator. Listeners won't have noticed this, but you had a literal desk full of Lego models, the Dinky toys, multiple
two DVD releases.
And for the Protectors, you have one soundtrack album.
No, this is the DVD. I don't even have the soundtrack.
Fabulous.
Well, my co-host, what can I say? The last time I snatched his muffin, he also sent Robert Vaughn after me. That's the last time we had breakfast together. It was Ben Wolf-Page, everybody. Hello.
Really disappointing breakfast, I have to say.
I could believe it. Oh, well, jokes aside, we are talking about the Protectors episode. It Could Be Practically Anywhere on the Island today.
You say jokes aside, but I think jokes very much front and center.
Jokes are plenty. Yes, this is very much the comedy episode. That's for sure.
On more levels than one.
Yes, certainly. But before that, to kind of ease the blow a little bit, I have something special lined up, actually.
Okay.
We're doing two segments today, and it's
right.
the return of quite a popular segment that we did previously that everyone
Mm.
very much enjoyed.
Mm.
It's time for Cham Cham Jams.
What's a cham cham, brain?
A cham cham?
What's a cham cham, brain?
Oh, of course.
What's a cham cham, brain?
A cham cham?
What's a cham cham, brains?
This is the part of the show where we take a musical diversion. We treat ourselves to some of the wonderful Gerry Anderson musical covers that have been produced by fans over the years. And I have something Protectors flavored lined up for us today. Of course,
Protectors flavored. That sounds like there's a brand of crisps for every ITC action adventure show, and this one is Protectors flavored. There's also Jason King and Persuaders crisps available.
Ooh, that'd be salty. Yeah. Don't know why. Now I have the image of Peter Wingard's moustache full of crisp crumbs and everything. Oh. No, thank you. No. Today we're diving into a nice little cover of Avenues and Alleyways, the song performed by Tony Christie over the end credits. Arguably a song maybe more famous than the show itself.
Perhaps. I think you could make a case. You could make a case
for that. I'm not going to give it too much more introduction, so I'm just gonna start playing a little extract of this cover for you, and
I can hardly wait.
Well, here is Avenues and Alleyways, like you've never heard it before. Here we go. I mean,
wow.
Come on.
I got so excited about that cover of Avenues and Alleyways that I knocked off my headphones.
Oh, so you didn't hear half of it?
I missed about 10 seconds of it, but I put them on as quickly as possible.
Oh,
which you can see if you watch the video version of this podcast.
Yes. So what we're looking at here is a cover of Avenues and Alleyways by a musician called Florian Hutter on YouTube. You can look up this video. Heartily recommend you give the full thing a listen because it is a corker. And he is playing it on an organ called a Worthy Atlantis SN3. Now, I'm no musician, but it strikes me that this is a very kind of 70s instrument for a very 70s song.
It feels like the perfect marriage of instrument and musical arrangement.
Yeah,
it's just a masterful connection, and it's I think that's easy listening, Jack. You just listen to it, and you can picture yourself sipping champagne by the poolside as hijinks unfold around you. Perfect background music for such hijinks.
Yeah, I love it. This is really, really, really good cover. I hope you all enjoyed it. And as I say, heartily recommend that you go and look at Florian Hutter's YouTube channel because it is
bravo to you for finding it.
Full of all this stuff. It's great. He covers all sorts of music from this kind of era on this instrument.
We'll be subscribing to Florian Hutter right away.
Absolutely. But yeah, that everyone was our brief segue into Cham Cham Jams. I hope
I
that you
think-
all enjoyed that.
That's the perfect intro to talking about the Protectors at any time.
Does it sweeten the deal a little bit?
And it also provides a little bit of value
Yeah.
for this episode, because we're not talking about anything of value during the main portion of the show. So I think this
What are
is
you
great.
talking about, Ben?
Well,
This is a special assignment, I'll have you know.
I have received a report from Spectrum Intelligence. It will mean I have a special assignment for you.
Oh, beautiful.
But it's a sewer.
We need a team.
I hope you will forgive me.
It could be practically anywhere on the island. Possibly the worst title for anything ever.
yeah, it's a mouthful.
If you need anything to put you off this episode, it's the fact that there's so many words.
Now,
So many words that you don't need, really.
yeah, what would you call this episode instead? Do you have an alternate title in mind? It would
I
encapsulate
do,
what
but
all
it's a bit impolite.
about. Okay. Any longer than 4 letters?
Something to do with dog and what?
Yes.
It's summing up the same sentiment as it could be practically anywhere on the island, but
Yep.
but maybe a rather more literal, just to kind of get to the point. Yes. So this episode is infamous for a number of reasons. Number one, it has an incredibly long title, but also it was directed by star of the show Robert Vaughn.
Robert Vaughn, star of The Man from U.N.C.L.E., The Magnificent Seven, and so many other wonderful film and television titles, making his directorial debut, ladies and gentlemen, his directorial debut,
Yes.
on the screen anyway, for an episode of The Protectors.
Mm-hmm. An episode which later was described apparently by Lew Grade as the worst episode of anything he'd ever seen ever. Now,
Wow.
I had trouble finding those words have been repeated a few times in different places, and I couldn't find an exact source for this, but I did refer to Gerry's biography where he describes it in similar terms, and I'll give you the exact wording from there, and indeed tell Gerry's side of the story on how
Do
this
go
episode
on. Do
came
go on.
to be. So, this is from page 207, if you're referring to your text.
Second
Sherwood,
edition.
yes. So, Sherwood Price came to me and told me that Robert Vaughn wanted to direct one of the episodes himself of The Protectors. I refused, but very quickly realized that if I upset the apple cart, it could cause a lot of problems on the series. I phoned Lew and asked for his opinion. He said he thought I should let Robert go ahead. He's a good actor. He'll probably do a good job of directing. Tony Barwick worked with Sherwood on the script, which I thought was a lot of nonsense, and the episode went into production. I sent the finished film to Lew, and when he watched it, he was absolutely disgusted. So, there's a few things about that tale that I think are interesting to pick out. Number one,
So much to unpack here.
Gerry does a magnificent job there of separating himself from this episode
Yes.
in several ways. It was Sherwood Price who came to him and asked for Robert Vaughn to direct. Gerry initially didn't want to do that. Phoned up Lew Grade for his opinion, which Lew Grade was never one for getting directly involved in the day-to-day running of hiring directors and things like that, at least from
Right.
the way it's been described previously. So I don't know for sure. But it's weird because like Gerry's like, oh, it was Lew who gave the advice for Robert Vaughn to direct. And then
Mhm.
he, even screened the episode to Lew Grade later, which again, that wasn't a very
Sort of.
common practice, I don't think, that Lew would sit down and watch every individual episode of everything he was putting out. That was
He's a busy man.
far too much material. He was a busy man. I can believe that maybe someone at ITC, said something along those lines, maybe. But whether it came from Lew directly, I don't know. The other part of this is the fact that the script was written and credited to Tony Barwick. But
Right.
and of course, Tony Barwick, we hold in quite high regard over
We
here
do.
because he contributed so much to lots of different Anderson shows.
Yeah, and some comedy episodes across the years as well, especially by the time you get to Terrorhawks.
Yeah,
Tony Barwick's comedic genius was in full flourish.
sure.
But I'm not sure that even the worst moments of Terrorhawks or Dick Spanner really compare to the comedy in this episode.
Yeah, it's a different flavor of comedy.
It's a very different kind of comedy.
And so
I will say, before we move on from the Gerry quote there,
yeah,
there's an old adage that success has many fathers, and every failure is an orphan.
right.
And I think that's sort of what's going on here, where Gerry didn't want to take any credit for that whatsoever.
No.
And perhaps justifiably, we weren't there. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Seems to be.
And
what's
we
going
will
on.
provide a little bit of context about kind of
Yes.
where this episode falls in the production run and what else was kind of going on at the time.
Who exactly
and
this Sherwood Price character is anyway.
who the heck is Sherwood Price? Well, that actually seems like a good. Well, okay, all right. Let's start. There's so many different ways we could go with this.
Yes.
I'm going to start on the assumption that maybe not everyone is totally familiar with this episode. The Protectors is not one of the more widely watched episodes of the Anderson show. So to give you a brief summary of the episode, let me read this for you. So it could be practically anywhere on the island. In Malta, on a routine assignment, apparently,
Assignment.
Harry becomes entangled in the theft of Rita McCall's muffin.
Excuse me.
The poodle has been stolen by Felix Costa and his girlfriend Mary, who intend to use the little dog in a plot to smuggle microfilm out of the country. Too late, they discover that the microfilm will not be arriving for several days, and the pair must keep Muffin fed and quiet until then, which proves to be difficult. Unfortunately, when the microfilm finally arrives, it falls into Muffin's dog food, and he eats it.
Is Muffin a he?
I believe Muffin is a
The
he.
dog?
I think so. Oh, good. I mean,
forget.
you raise an interesting question. Well, it's not. That's the problem. It's not an interesting question. I don't remember exactly, but
There is
according
a
to
joke.
the synopsis, anyway, it's a he.
Towards the beginning of the episode, there is a joke where Harry's getting a description of this dog, and he goes, "Sex," and she goes, "Oh no, he's just a little baby."
Oh, he actually does say she. I think it is a she. I think the synopsis
a
is
she?
wrong. Yeah, I think at least I have it in
For
my
some
notes.
reason,
It's a she.
there seems to be a plethora of the finer details about this episode that nobody could be bothered to get 100% correct.
It's difficult to latch onto.
Wonder why?
I had to write down so many notes in order to kind of, not because it's a complicated plot, because it's an incredibly simple plot, and I
It
couldn't.
is.
But it's difficult to stick in the mind exactly what. It's just a sequence of scenes that fold out. They're almost like comedy sketches, one after the other.
You know
almost
how there's
very loosely connected.
there's the sort of like train wreck syndrome where you can't quite tear your eyes away from something because it's such a disaster. And then there's like the sink full of dirty dishes disaster where you're like, I cannot focus on it because I just don't want to think about that big pile of dirty dishes right there.
Right.
That's
exactly.
more what this episode is like. You're like, yeah, I'm watching it and it's happening, but I really can't get too emotionally invested in what's going on here because I feel like there may be consequences if I do.
Oh,
Should we run through the plot or
yeah.
how do you want to approach this?
Let's start from the beginning, and we'll
Okay.
touch upon the finer points. So
Okay, let's go.
we begin in Malta.
Where else?
Where else? It's at a hotel in Malta, and believe it or not, contrary to our hilarious cold open earlier, I was aware that we were covering this episode, and I did in fact do a little bit of research before we started.
Of course.
And I can tell you that this was the Grand Hotel Verdala in Malta.
Ooh.
Sadly closed in
No.
1997 and demolished
No.
as recently as 2021. It was left kind of
Oh, my goodness.
abandoned for a really long time, and it was finally demolished a few years ago.
This is really sad.
So
Now I can't do my it could be practically anywhere on the island recreation event that I was planning for
I
summer
don't know. I
2026.
think standing in the middle of a demolished hotel would give you something of the flavor of the episode, wouldn't it?
Just looking around in the ruins. Yep.
Yeah. This was
Okay.
the pool. This was the pool that Robert Vaughn fell into at one point. I can picture it now, standing in this pit full of cement, concrete
goodness
that's fallen down around me. Yeah, no. Sadly, that hotel is no more. But it's
R.I.P.
clearly a very luxurious place to go and stay. Nicely dressed up staff and everything, you know.
Yeah, it's very 70s, of course. There's
very
all
70s.
sorts of decor and wardrobe and choices you wouldn't make now.
Yes, that's very true. And all of this is underpinned by some very carefree, light, fluffy music.
Yes, it's already so if you know anything about the Protectors, this is a departure in tone right away from the very beginning. The sort of light, bouncy music is far removed from the usual tone of the Protectors, which is like funky. We're gonna solve crimes on the continent. It's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
This time, there's none of that. It's totally different tone.
It takes on the tone of a sort of, and certainly later on it does, a classic Hollywood farce kind of movie.
Yeah.
Very old school in the way it comes across.
Yeah, it's really old-fashioned sort of comedy stylings. We'll get into that.
And there's nothing worse when you're dealing with comedy that isn't funny, when you have music trying to tell you that it's funny.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah.
that can be painful. But anyway, what's Harry Rule doing at this hotel?
Good question.
It's a really good question. I have no idea what he's doing there.
He's doing some sort of business with the hotel manager.
Right. The hotel manager, a chap called Gale, or Jail, because apparently that's a joke that they decide to make is about the pronunciation of this guy's name. It totally falls flat. Don't even
It's
know
a
what
joke
they're
they
going
make. It's something that could be funny if it was a running joke, if everybody got his name wrong, but it basically only happens once.
Exactly.
So it's like, oh, they just mispronounced his name, and that irritates him.
Well, maybe
That's
in
the
the
end of
maybe in the director's cut there's more of it, but sadly,
Yes, the extended edition.
this is all cut
Coming
down
soon.
to a zippy 25-minute Protectors kind of pace, and it does move along.
Keep moving.
It doesn't move. It does move along quite nicely. But anyway, yeah, Harry's chatting to this guy who's like the concierge of the hotel, the manager,
Yes.
and all I could really pick up is that Harry is doing something with the hotel's detectives
Okay.
that needs to be discreet.
Okay.
Whether that has anything to do with the plot that actually ends up unfolding, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not.
Whether
I'm not
Harry
sure
was-
that it does. It
Whether
doesn't seem-
Harry was there the whole time to kind of intercept all this microfilm business, we don't know. But anyway,
Isn't there a bit of business later on that this hotel is fairly recently opened?
yes,
Doesn't the hotel manager say, "Oh, we just opened. We can't have any
yeah,
chaos or controversy because it might scare people away."
yeah. which is really sad because the hotel did end up closing and getting demolished in the end. So clearly they never recovered from the dog incident.
Neither have I. Oh, that's what this episode should be called, the dog incident.
The dog incident. Yeah,
That's a much better
yes.
title.
That'd be
Anyway,
a nice
keep going.
polite term for it. Keep going. I mean, basically, an American young lady arrives at the hotel and is being observed high up above on the balcony by another man and his girlfriend. And he immediately, this character, Felix Costa, is complaining about his hair worries or lack of it. Which, you know, from personal experience, I just have to say, get over it, mate. It happens. I'm sorry. It happens.
It does happen.
So we know that, okay, there's some intrigue, there's some interest going on in this lady who arrives, who the character is called Rita McCall, played by Linda Staab. Staab?
Staab.
S-T-A-A-B. Who
Staab
is known, perhaps more commonly, as the future wife of director and star Robert Vaughn.
Hey.
And this is one of the incidents where you start to see, Robert Vaughn was just casting his friends and family in an episode of his show because who cares whether it's good or not? Let's just all get together and have fun.
Yeah, something was afoot here. This was definitely not a standard Protector's approach in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly. It's very it's very strange. I would say that sorry, just people in the chat, I know there's a certain 4-letter word that comes up when discussing this episode. However, it would be appreciated if we could keep the chat family friendly on this occasion. Not something I often have to mention. But
a tall order when you're talking about it could be practically anywhere on the island.
I know. And we will discuss it in polite terms a bit later, but it would be appreciated if we could keep it PG for now. Anyway, that just distracted me for a moment there. Right. Where were we?
So Linda Staab, in the guise of Rita McCall, has arrived at the hotel. She's checking in while Harry's running over some stuff with the hotel manager.
Yes.
And then suddenly there's a big commotion. And Harry Rule, already out of character, rushes over to see what's the matter, runs straight to the American woman, grabs her, and starts shaking her and saying, "What's wrong, lady? What's wrong?" To which the lady replies, "What's wrong? Somebody stole my muffin. That's what's wrong."
Freeze frame on
Freeze frame.
Harry Rule. I can't describe the expression on his face, but he looks directly to camera, but not in a way that's like he's expecting. No, Ben, you see your pose there looks too posed and like prepared for this free. It's like you knew that freeze frame was going to happen.
This is
Robert Vaughn, despite the fact he's directing the episode, looks completely unprepared for this situation. He's just totally caught off guard. Like, what?
It's so weird because it's the only time in the entire show where they do this weird little thing that the sequence, the freeze frame, bleeds over into the opening credits.
Yes.
So it actually replaces the opening shot of Big Ben.
Right.
The clock.
Weird, right?
Yeah, and it's a very odd choice, and but also because the freeze frame looks so unintentional, it just feels like a really weird. Like, why
feels like your DVD got stuck?
Yeah, it feels like an error.
Yeah,
it's just a weird. The whole thing is weird. It's the weirdest intro to a Protectors episode ever.
Yes, because The
You
Protectors
feel like you're watching a different show.
exactly. I mean, the Protectors has it's a loose format. Yeah, we can say
Yeah.
that. The Protectors can be about quite a lot of different things because it's just
Quite a bit.
generally speaking about a group of, globe-trotting agents who help people out. They solve crimes. They protect people. Sometimes they actually do that.
Not very often.
So to open an episode with "someone stole my dog" is a little bit kind of really low stakes.
And she doesn't say someone stole my dog. She says someone stole my muffin, which I think in 70s parlance was meant to be a bit of a double entendre,
Well, quite. Yes.
but it doesn't really land either.
No.
Which I think is why they tried to go with the freeze frame to try and make it funnier, to try and create a
Yes.
reaction from Robert Vaughn, a comedic double take that wasn't there in the performance.
It wasn't. Despite the fact, and I will say this repeatedly on the show, he directed the episode. So someone directed this episode. Sometimes
Yeah.
it just feels like the cameras were rolling and stuff just happened. But no, this was purposeful. Someone chose to
Yes.
do things in a certain way. But like you say, that freeze frame comes across just bizarre.
Okay.
Yes. So Harry sits down with Rita and tries to console her, tries to get information about, someone stole your dog. What can you tell me about the dog? Like, he gets really invested in this
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 situation,
lady's
yeah.
trouble. Now,
Mhm.
could it be he just kind of fancies her a bit? Well, that seems likely
not?
because Robert Vaughn in real life was going out with her. So now, all this being said, what do we actually think of Linda Staab's performance?
I have to say, it's a performance that doesn't feel like it belongs in the show, but it's not a bad performance. I
Yeah.
feel like she delivers a reasonably good accent. It could be her own accent for all I know.
Yeah, I don't know. She didn't do
don't know where she's
much acting, particularly after she married Robert Vaughn. She didn't do an awful lot, so we don't have much to refer to. But yeah, I mean,
But it sounds good. It works for the character.
Yeah.
It's just that the character is such an odd choice. that
it's
makes
just
it not quite work.
it's so heightened and so
Yeah, it's like a
ludicrous.
sitcom
Yeah.
character.
yeah.
Something you would expect to see on All in the Family or something like that. It doesn't
Okay.
feel like a real person.
Yes, definitely not like a real person.
But that's
Um,
not a criticism. That's just I feel like it's a reasonably good performance on her part. Not her
Yeah.
fault.
I wouldn't have minded seeing her, perform more roles like that. But as I say, it does clash with what we come to expect of the Protectors and the style of performances. Well, some of the style of the performances. There are a few people who overact in the Protectors. It's not
No.
not an exclusive thing to this episode.
I cannot
it's just,
believe that.
well,
Ridiculous.
it's just particularly noticeable here. Let's just say that. But if you consider, I mean, it's still mad to me that a few months ago we were talking about another episode of the Protectors called "The First Circle," which is praised for its sensitive and rich and interesting portrayal of post-traumatic stress disorder with a Vietnam War veteran, masterfully played by Ed Bishop.
And not that far apart in the production order. either,
Not
right?
that far
Maybe
apart,
less
no.
10 episodes apart.
Yeah, exactly. So it's weird. So yeah, there's a clash there, but yeah, she's enjoyable to watch. She's good fun. She does a
Yes.
she's fine. She understood the assignment, rightly or wrongly. That was the assignment she was given. So
There you go.
we have that, and yes, as you say, we have that joke. Harry asks what the sex is of the dog, and she says, "No, she's just a puppy." A little 2-pound little tiny little poodle.
Yes. Shall we talk about the dog?
Sorry, I just had to savor that moment on the Security Hazard show where you quite rightly asked me, shall we talk about the dog?
The dog.
Yes, Ben, let's talk about the dog.
The dog's name is Muffin, hence the joke at the beginning, if you can even call it a joke. I did a little bit of research for this episode and discovered that this dog, his name was Pip, and he belonged to, I almost said the Rule family, to the Vaughn family. He was belonged, I guess he started life as Linda's dog, and then when they got married, they got joint custody. They shared the dog. Anyway, the dog lived with them for a really long time, and I found a picture of them from 1981, which would have been about 10 years after this. A much longer haired and fully grown poodle.
Wow.
So this was a relatively new acquisition at the time, but it wasn't a trained show animal. It was a real dog that belonged to the director and star of this production.
All right.
It's like, you know what would be a great idea? I wonder if we could do a show around my new dog. That'd be swell.
All right. So Robert Vaughn's got himself in the show, and it's worth. I can't believe we glossed over this. No other regular characters from the show appear in this episode.
No.
The Contessa, gone.
Contessa.
Tony Anholt as Paul Boucher, gone. Even minor characters Suki and Chino, gone. Like, it's just Harry Rule.
Just Harry.
No, none of the other protectors this week. Not about. And in fact, the next episode in the production order, Vocal, minimized Robert Vaughn's involvement and shifted the focus back onto the other characters.
Right. Because
there was an overlap in production and Robert Vaughn was busy doing It Could Be Practically Anyone on the Islands. Everyone else was doing Vocal. Sure. Which I seem to recall Vocal being a much better episode.
Vocal is a much better episode. It has some great guest stars, including Shane Rimmer.
Of course.
If I recall rightly.
Yeah,
and that's the technique that they would put to good use later on in Space 1999 Year 2. I say good use. Taking an ensemble cast and splitting them up in order to double up the production time. Certainly an efficient way.
It's more effective in Space 1999 because you have a bigger cast. You actually can split them up. Whereas in this, it's just
help.
Where are all the other? It's called the Protectors plural. Where are they all?
This time it's called the Muffin Seeker.
The Muffin Seeker.
Seeking for the dog all over the island. Should we talk about Gel or perhaps Gel?
Gel? Yeah, all right, briefly. I don't have a lot to say about him, to be honest.
This actor appears in 3 episodes of The Protectors, and one of them we've covered on the podcast before. Jack, do you remember this actor and what episode of The Protectors he appears in that we've already covered?
I mean, I have his name in front of me, which is Michael DaCosta.
Okay.
But I have no memory of seeing him in The Protectors elsewhere.
Okay.
Now, process of elimination here. Previously on the podcast, we've really covered the extremes. We've covered the first circle, and we've also covered Disappearing Trick with Darren Nesbitt in.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess it's Disappearing Trick, but I have absolutely no recollection of him at all.
Okay. In that episode, you are correct. Your process of elimination is faultless.
Okay. Good.
He appears in Disappearing Trick as a cafe owner. The cafe where Darren Nesbitt appears in drag.
Gotcha. Of course. Okay.
So he's there in that, and he's also in, if you want to see what a successful comedy episode of The Protectors looks like, may I recommend an episode called King Khan. He appears in that one as well, and that is a much superior story to this one, where the Protectors out-con a con man.
Oh, lovely.
Good
Lovely.
fun.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, very good. Well, yes. So he's essentially there because, oh, look, a big man in an ill-fitting suit. Isn't that funny? He doesn't sort of. There's a I suppose a slight campness to the performance that's been heightened there for comedy value, but it
Yes.
doesn't feel like he quite goes as far with it as he could do. And to be fair, partly that's because the script doesn't focus on that character very much.
No, yeah, he doesn't really get enough to do for what he's trying to do. I feel like he wants to be in Faulty Towers,
Yeah.
but there's not a Faulty Towers. Everyone else who works for the hotel, the porters, they're all perfectly played straight, serious, regular, ordinary background characters.
Yeah.
And then he's Manuel.
Exactly. Yeah, so okay, he's fine. He does all right, but mostly I'm there going, yeah, that suit doesn't fit him properly. Isn't that funny? Yeah, whatever. Now let's talk about Sherwood Price.
Okay,
It's a name we've brought up many times here, and I think it's time we finally explain who is Sherwood Price? What is his connection to the Protectors? Because it goes beyond this episode.
It does. So when Robert Vaughn became attached to this production, he brought in I forget what the exact term is. I think he's credited as the executive in charge of production, but he was basically sort of Robert Vaughn's fixer, middleman, administrator, whatever you want to prefer. He was the guy who liaised between the office of Robert Vaughn and the office of Group 3 Productions, which was Gerry, Sylvia, and Reg. And I guess ITC by extension.
Right.
So Sherwood Price had mainly a sort of behind the scenes role.
Yes.
In terms of making sure that Robert Vaughn was happy, and that, whatever control Robert Vaughn wanted to exert over the show, he was sort of the man to make that all happen, right? But he also appears in 3 episodes of The Protectors, including this one.
I was going to say, I did know that. I was like, he did also put his face on a few other episodes. Didn't
Yes,
he?
and in addition to co-running a production company with Robert Vaughn, Sherwood Price was primarily an actor in his career. He appears in a lot of American movies and TV shows, Bonanza, a few other westerns, things like that. So he's he's actually in Ice Station Zebra with Patrick McGowan, which we talked about last week.
Yes, of course. Yes.
So he did get around. He did have a real career outside of this episode, which you
believe it or not.
Believe it or not. But what's the mystery here? What was the connection between him and Robert Vaughn? How did they meet? What's the backstory? I have to say, I couldn't find an answer to that. I picked up a copy of Robert Vaughn's memoir, which I believe is called A Fortunate Life. Flipped through it, only found one reference to Sherwood Price. And in that one reference, Robert Vaughn refers to him as a lifelong friend.
Okay, a lifelong friend that you only mentioned once in your biography. Okay.
A lifelong friend who only gets one mention in the biography. So it's a bit of a mysterious circumstance, but it seems clear that they knew each other for quite a while. In 1969, Robert Vaughn and Sherwood Price starred together in the lead roles of a production of Neil Simon's The Odd Couple on stage in the Midwest somewhere. St. Louis, Missouri, I think.
Right.
So that gives you a little bit of a clue into what they were thinking. So in The Odd Couple, of course, a classic play that became a film later and then became a TV sitcom and sort of laid the groundwork, I think, for a lot of TV sitcoms to come. It's about two mismatched roommates, one very sort of nervous and fussy, and one a great big slob. Robert Vaughn playing the slob, Sherwood Price playing the fussy little man. So that's sort of the template, I think, for what they were going for here with this character,
Yes.
Felix Costa, with his with his wig or
Yes.
lack thereof.
So, running
yeah,
gag.
Julia.
The running gag is Felix is bald and he's sad about it. He doesn't like having no hair. But his attractive young girlfriend, Mary, constantly reassures him, no, I don't like all that long hair business. You're perfectly lovely as you are, Felix. But
This
he
A real tragedy.
remains insecure about it through the entire episode, to the point where and actually Yoshimi 11235 in the chat said there's one brilliant line in the episode where Felix says something like, I'd be a happy man if I had a full head of hair. I would probably have never turned to crime. Thank you for calling out that quote, because yeah, it's a running gag. It's not very funny. It doesn't really go anywhere. It's not like it leads up to this grand punchline at the end or anything.
No, it's just sort of like
it's just repeated.
Well, it feels almost a bit insulting to bald people, and I guess because his hair loss was apparently genuine, he felt like he could get away with making fun of bald people because he was one, but it doesn't
it suggests insecurity. It's like, you know, oh yeah, I could laugh about it. It's funny that I have no hair. It's fine. I could laugh about it now. It's really no problem. It's fine. I'm fine with it. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
This toupee, that's not mine, obviously. That's just something the character thinks is something he should wear. It's not mine. No.
It's very uncomfortable. The whole thing.
Yeah.
It's very
uncomfortable
cringy.
is a good word for it. Yeah, it's very cringy because it's a joke, but it's just taken just too far. Just there's too much of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't contribute to the plot. It's one of those things that he clearly just thought was funny.
Right.
Now, in that regard, one of the things we have to one of the mysteries of this is episode screenplay credited to Tony Barwick.
Ah, yes.
Who is known for doing some comedy.
Yes.
But can also do serious stuff. Didn't he write The First Circle?
I think you're right.
He did. Yeah, Tony Barwick wrote The First Circle. He also wrote the screenplay for this. Now, it's worth saying, he was the script editor on the show. So he would probably have been responsible for doing large rewrites on other writers' scripts, and sometimes over the process of making TV, writers, if their stuff gets rewritten too dramatically, they want their name taken off, and well, someone's got to be credited, so you put the script editor's name on it, and da-da-da-da-da. So, as Gerry alluded to in his biography, it seems like the script was largely influenced by Sherwood Price and probably Robert Vaughn as well. So how much of it is Tony Barwick's words and how much of it is what he wanted to put in the show? We don't know. We don't know for sure. It's difficult to say because, as we said before, he Tony Barwick is not a stranger to kind of cringeworthy comedy.
No.
But what I would say is his cringeworthy comedy is usually better constructed than this, is what it comes down to.
That's right.
Yeah. Whereas there's a lot of this episode which honestly feels like it was kind of improvised on the spot. Like some of it was probably largely off book, I would have thought. And there's quite
a bit of it that feels like the dialogue was reconstructed in post-production as well.
Oh yeah, particularly the character of Mary, played by Madeline Hind, pretty much revoiced all the way through.
Yeah,
very blatantly. May not even be her voice, actually. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Good question.
Oh, Joyce845 comes in with some Wikipedia trivia for us. Sherwood Price, real last name was Gell, Gell, which just so happens to be the hotel manager's surname.
Wow.
There we
That, wow.
There we go. Thank you for doing our work for us.
Imagine putting such a niche inside joke into your TV show.
But that's the thing. This whole episode feels like an inside joke. It just feels like something done for Robert Vaughn and Sherwood Price's amusement. Doesn't matter whether no one else is having a good time watching it or making it.
Yeah.
As long as they're having fun, then that's all right. And what I will say about it is you do have to admire a vanity project that commits so wholeheartedly to being like it's unashamed. They're not hiding it at all.
Yeah.
There's glorious publicity photos of Robert Vaughn directing this episode with his cowboy hat on, looking the part. He's holding up the megaphone.
He's got one of those director's
instructions across the
viewfinders
board.
hanging around his neck.
Yeah, he does all the poses that you're supposed to do when you look like you're directing something. So there's no conceit. They're not pretending. They're not trying to say, "Oh, look at this higher form of art." It is what it is, and that's what sort of makes it. That's what makes it. It's ever so slightly endearing, to me at least.
Endearing?
Yeah, in a way. Like you go, well, it's like watching someone's holiday, home movie.
That's what it is. It feels like that's the sort of, I keep using the word cringy. The cringe factor is that sort of like, oh, I'm at someone else's house and they're making me watch their home movies. That's a bit what it feels like in its
Yes.
a lot of its moments.
Exactly.
So we've established Sherwood Price.
Right, we've established Sherwood Price, and what he's done is he snatched Muffin.
Well, I think he sent the lady to do it, actually.
Oh,
The many details.
probably wise. I don't think he would have been very subtle about it.
No.
Yeah,
he makes a total hash of everything he tries to do in this episode.
Yes, he does.
But
he does.
yes, he's got the dog together with his girlfriend in a hotel room. Why did they take this dog, Jack? What was the original reason?
We'll find out.
Okay, we don't know yet.
We don't know yet. I don't think we know yet at this stage.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, so you're left kind of baffled. Well, what is going on here? Why is any of this happening?
I'm so baffled.
Cut to a very brief outdoor pool scene at the hotel, which again, you just get this feeling like everyone was staying at this hotel.
Right.
So they just filmed at the hotel. It's pretty obvious, like all the people in the background, I think anyway, are just hotel guests. They're not extras. They're just random people who happen to be in the shot.
It definitely feels that way.
And
to
the
me.
way it's shot as well is like camera far away at the other side of the pool. Robert Vaughn and Linda Staab just walking through among all the regular people, trying to do their dialogue, but they've got this problem where the camera can't quite hold focus on them because they're so far away. The sound is really bad for whatever reason. I don't think they dubbed this scene, despite the fact they're really far away up from the microphone, and it's a very windy day in Malta. There's a windy week in Malta, actually. Half the outdoor scenes, you can tell they're up against a blustery kind of windy day.
Yeah, every outdoor scene looks very windy.
Yes, and ever so slightly overcast as well, which is interesting. So, yeah, it's
a puzzling scene.
It's one of those scenes that you just go, "This doesn't look like it was filmed by professionals,"
It's a bit choppy.
Just a bit weird. honestly can't remember what they were talking about. I don't
No
think it's very
idea.
significant, but basically, Harry rules on the case. He's going to go and find her dog. You know,
Yeah.
it's just an opportunity to show, honestly, to show Linda Staab in a variety of outfits. And boy,
This
howdy,
is
does she go through a variety of striking outfits in this episode.
Never thought about it, but yes, you're right. She has a different set of clothes just about every time we see her.
Yes,
you're right.
And I'm pretty sure over the course of the episode, the the neck on her outfit just gets lower and lower and lower as the whole thing goes.
Much as her neckline sinks, so too does the tone of the episode.
Yes, it does. Rather, it's a little bit distracting. I'm ashamed to say. But again, it's like, we know what we're making here. You know.
Yes.
It's not like she was tricked into it or anything. She knew.
No. Clearly, that she was a willing participant in this little piece of exploitation.
Yeah.
That seems readily apparent.
Yes.
From the sublime to the ridiculous, we go from Linda Staab's poolside outfits to a dog refusing to eat any of a wide variety of canned dog food.
An assortment of dog. I mean, so many. The finest dog food tins that Malta had to offer. It's all out on display here on the table, and the dog just won't eat any of them. And oh boy, is Felix losing his darn mind over this.
Felix Costa, not Unger. We have to specify.
Yes. Well, this is it. This is you really start to see that character in The Odd Couple starting to come through in his neuroses and his paranoia and all of this stuff.
But Sherwood Price is no Jack Lemmon, unfortunately.
No.
Have quite the chops.
It's all surface level. There's nothing lying underneath it.
Right.
You never get a sense of, well, why is he this way? He just is because it's funny in quotation marks. So they've got a problem. The dog won't eat.
That won't eat its food.
Yeah, I mean it's a real concern. I can understand why you'd be nervous. I'd be more nervous if it was my own dog rather than one I'd just stolen. But that suddenly it becomes a major concern. They have to keep this dog alive, basically, for the purposes of whatever it is that's coming up. They have to keep the dog alive, so it has to eat. So what's it going to eat? Well, Mary, who's, I don't know why she's with Felix, because she's got a head on her shoulders. She's reasonably intelligent. She suggests, well, it's a poodle, a beloved little dog. Maybe it's been spoiled. Maybe there's a very specific type of food that this dog eats. We need to figure out what that is.
And what was Felix's very clever, extremely, wise.
How are we going to get this information? We're going to have to be canny. We're going to have to be smart to figure this one out.
Yes, it can't be. It has to be subtle. It can't be too easy to detect.
Yeah. It's very simple. You go and ask the owner that you've just stolen the dog from what their favorite food is.
That's it.
Really simple. This
is a real scene in a real detective show.
This all really happens. Yes. So Harry and Rita, sorry, is the character's name, Rita. Harry and Rita go down to the bar dressed in their finery, which is a very odd moment because you go, wait, are you two a couple now? Like
they're holding hands. I mean,
they're holding hands.
The dating energy is very strong.
Yeah. Which, I mean, all right. It's nice when a charming man comes along and offers to find your dog for you, but
I'm sure I wouldn't know.
I don't know if I would then start, going to dinner with that man and all of this other stuff. Makes you wonder, what was she doing in Malta in the first place, actually?
Weird.
What was she doing there?
She's there for some reason. She's from Arkansas, which is not part of the U.S. That you would expect anyone to be from in Malta.
Oh, I thought you were just stopping. It's not part of the US.
No, it is. It
I was like,
very
I'm
much is.
sorry, Ben. I didn't know. I didn't know you had a thing against that particular.
I had a bad
state.
experience in
I'm so
Arkansas once. Full disclosure.
Okay, right. Well, just
No,
you know, keep
but-
it professional. Come on.
Irrelevant. Yeah, she's there, and she's supposed to be worried sick about this dog, but she's also just kind of dating the detective who's looking for the dog.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
she's
you
not
know,
that-
she needs some Muffin to take her mind off of Muffin. I guess is what it comes down to. I don't know if that really makes sense, but yeah. Sorry, we're being sorry. After me telling the chat off for being rude,
We've completely fallen off the wagon.
I know. I'm so sorry. Right. Okay. So Felix's grand plan is, well, I'll buy her a drink.
Mhm.
I asks the barman, just give me 2 of whatever she's drinking,
Mhm.
and I'll go over and I'll try and he tries to he doesn't just outright ask her. He tries to be sympathetic and be like, I heard your dog was stolen. That's really sad. I imagine a dog like that must need a special diet. Oh, you must have looked after that dog so well. It'd be really interesting to know what you fed that dog. Just imagine if someone else had to feed that dog, what would it be like? And the conceit very quickly falls off. But Rita, bless her, she doesn't quite see the subtle mind games that are going on here. And instead just gets very upset, starts crying and yelling and screaming.
What exactly does happen here? There's so many moments in this episode where things just happen. And
There
you
are
just sort of
so many
accept it.
things that like talking of things that happen. I have just glossed over the whole drink thing.
Right.
Where
Right, which was
her drink of choice is a screwdriver. Okay.
A rusty nail, rather.
Rusty nail. Why did I think it was a screw? We're in the
Close enough. Close enough.
metallic qualities to these cocktails. That's where I got mixed up. Yes, her drink of choice is a rusty nail.
Yes.
Which Felix has clearly never encountered this drink before. He takes a sip and he nearly chokes to death.
Yes. What does a rusty nail consist of?
I don't remember it.
It's half brandy, half bourbon.
Right.
50% brandy, 50% bourbon.
I mean,
which sounds disgusting to me. I cannot imagine such a concoction.
It's strong. It would be potent, that's for sure.
But also, yeah, 2 flavors of whiskey that shouldn't go together.
Right.
The part of me that lives in Scotland is like, no, don't mix those whiskeys together. Stop.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's all nonsense. Anyway, Felix agrees with you. It's a disgusting drink. He can't stand it. So comedy bit ensues where he finds the drink disgusting, but it's funny because he ordered the drink, so he has to try and play it off as something he drinks all the time, but he doesn't anyway. He can't. It's another one of those bits that's just there because it's funny, but it doesn't actually contribute anything.
But it's not funny.
Anyway, he starts molesting her, basically. Like he's
molesting.
Is
that the word?
Is that the word? I don't know. He's getting really pushy about this dog food thing.
Yes, he's very upset that she won't. She gets upset because her dog is missing, and then he's upset because she won't tell him what he wants to know. And then a total stranger from Culver City, California, marches over and starts defending the young lady's honor, unsolicited.
Yes,
and it's the introduction of another
colorful character. Yes, Jonathan P. Hackett is the name of that character.
Okay.
Now, when I watched this episode, I was familiar with the fact that Sherwood Price was Robert Vaughn's friend. Linda Staab was his soon-to-be wife. The dog was the dog was their dog. So I assumed that like half the cast at this point is just friends and family of Robert Vaughn. And the way that this character of Jonathan P. Hackett just turns up, you know, as this brash American that just pops up in like one or two scenes. It's like a glorified cameo at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say the performance is not subtle, you know, it's in keeping with the rest of the episode, I suppose. So I was thinking, this guy is just a friend, another friend of Robert Vaughn's who they phoned up and said, hey, you know, do you want a vacation in Malta for a week? Come and star in my my episode of The Protectors, and you could. Sorry, that's the best Robert Vaughn impression.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Come and star in my episode of The Protectors. It sounds a lot like my Shane Rimmer impression, actually.
No, it's not quite as baritone as your Shane Rimmer impression.
Thank you very much. So anyway, I assumed this guy was not an actor necessarily, just a friend who's come to have a free vacation in Malta, and he occasionally has to pop up and, you know, deliver a line or two. Well, no, actually, I'm wrong about that. This is an actor. His name's Dervis Ward, who's a Welsh actor who, by all accounts, has many roles across many TV series, of which Bendy, do you have the list in front of you of all those shows he done?
Yeah, he pops up in small roles in movies like Ben-Hur and A Night to Remember, so some pretty well-known movies. He does a lot of Dixon of Dock Green and Zed Cars and things like that, a lot of British TV roles.
Yeah,
so a pretty well-established British character actor, unaccountably turning up in a note perfect performance as a boorish California man.
Yeah,
in an episode of The Protectors. I just
really
assumed
that that's the sort of part.
Malta.
That's the sort of part that you would write for your mate. You know, you want your mate to be in your movie. You'd write them a little cameo role like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone in the chat pointed out to us that name Hackett was a reference to someone else in Robert Vaughn's personal life, because it does feel that way. It does feel like a reference of some sort.
Maybe.
You know, our pal from Culver City who's always butting in where he putting his big schnoz in where it doesn't belong. I bet he would be perfect for this.
Yeah.
Well, there's this Welsh actor. He kind of looks like him. We'll just bring him,
just
fly him over.
Yeah. I mean, that was happening on The Protectors on a regular basis. You know, people,
Sure.
you know, random British actors just being flown across Europe here and there and just having to do stuff. There's actually, I was surprised, there's not really any local talent, no Maltese actors, as far as I can tell, who are in this. You know, obviously later in the Investigator, we would have two very fine Maltese actors, Charles Thake and Peter Borge. Turn up in it, but no, Charles Thake does turn up in The Protectors later, but yeah. Anyway,
daydreaming about the Investigator.
Daydreaming about what we could be talking about,
which goes to show you how bad this episode is. If you daydreaming about the Investigator,
we're really floundering around here. One more personal, one more line that I want to call out from this bar scene is Rita saying, "I've been ruining my personal plumes."
It's a good one
because she's got a feather boa on and she's she
spills some of Felix's drink on it.
Yeah,
and then gets upset with him for it.
So
anyway,
that whole scene ends with people going flying and he falls off his chair. She eventually, in distress, reveals that the dog likes liver cooked in milk, obviously. At which point Felix passes out from the sheer relief of finally finding out what the food is, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, don't know why. But anyway, cut to the next morning. Felix is feeling kind of sorry for himself. He had one rusty nail too many.
Yeah, he's having an Alka-Seltzer. He's got a table a bedside table full of pills. He
Yeah.
has a few pills. He drinks his Alka-Seltzer. And then he indulges in a little bit of fantasy. He tries on a wig, imagining what it would be like if he had a full head of hair.
He says,
And
I could
it's,
look 20 years younger. No. No,
I
mate.
don't think so.
No, sorry, I don't see it. Well, Barry, he specifically says he's 42 years old in the dialogue. So the idea that this wig suddenly makes him look 22
is ludicrous.
I think you're going to need a bit more help with that.
It's ludicrous. Anyway, the scene.
Anyway,
is a dreadful scene.
Absolutely dreadful
One of
scene.
the worst in this
So
episode.
self-indulgent, but fortunately, it does lead to the plot actually happening.
There's a plot.
Yeah,
A plot.
Mary arrives saying that
Oh,
someone
Mary.
is waiting for them at the castellated house, which is a weirdly vague term for the place they actually end up going. But yes, there's someone waiting to meet up with them there. So
Okay.
Felix has to pull himself together and drive to another part of Malta to go and meet someone. I've done my
Right.
research, Ben.
I knew you would.
Let me tell you, that location, it goes under many names. Most commonly, it's referred to as the Red Tower. It's also the Tower of St. Agatha.
Okay.
And it is a 30-minute drive from the hotel where they were
Okay.
staying and filming. It's on the very north coast of the main island of Malta. And the funny thing is, it was in quite a poor state of repair when they were filming there. It had kind of gone to ruin over the course of the 20th century, but then in more recent years, it's been restored and looks much grander than it does in this episode, where it is essentially just a pile of rocks, really.
Yeah.
So that is one location from this episode that you actually can go and visit, and it actually looks better than it did in the episode. So,
Wow.
there you
Wow.
go.
So it hasn't all been a waste.
No. What are you talking about, Ben? It's not a waste. This has
That's
all
what I'm
been a
saying. I'm saying it's
very
not a waste.
worthwhile use of time. Yes, so Felix meets a man called Flynn,
Yes.
played by an actor called Vernon Dobchev.
The best part of this episode, potentially? A really
Yes!
strong contender for best performance.
well,
of course,
it's-
he doesn't say any dialogue that's used. All of his dialogue is looped because it's obviously crazy windy
Yeah.
while this scene is going on. There's no
Yes.
usable sound
Yes.
from this
All of
scene.
which is funny to me because going back to the investigator, I'm sorry. But the investigator, one of the things they talk about why that was such a trouble production was because the weather was so unexpectedly poor.
Right.
And I'm like, you're looking at this episode of the Protectors, which would have been filmed before the investigator, and you go, well, the weather doesn't look great in that episode either. So I don't know what you were expecting. It's just clearly not always like bright sunshine and perfect weather in Malta. Like clearly, it's an island. It's out in the middle of the Mediterranean. Like
In the
you're gonna get some unexpected weather. So anyway,
That's right.
That's just very apparent in this episode where it's just windy all the time. Yes, but Flynn is an okay character. I'll say it's very well cast.
Yes.
I say if you want, spoiler alert, if you want an industrial spy, if you want someone who looks like a 1970s industrial spy, you hire Vernon Dobchev.
He's perfect for that.
He looks the part. He really does. And he sounds, he's got the right voice for it and everything. He's great. To me, I recognized him from the Doctor Who story, The War Games.
Yes.
Where he plays a villain in that. But he's a very prolific actor. He's done lots of other things. I'm sure he doesn't think too much about his time in Malta back in 1971 or whenever it was. So, yeah, all that in mind.
Mhm.
Now, the plot we now learn
At
is
last.
that there is a microfilm
Ooh.
that needs to be transported in secret to New York.
Okay.
Okay. We don't know the contents of this microfilm yet. That is revealed later, but there is a microfilm that needs to be transported to New York in secret. So the plan is,
I'm listening.
great plan. The plan is to install the microfilm in the dog's collar, then give the dog back to Rita so that she can fly home to New York, even though we've established she's not from New York.
No, but she's
whatever.
going there.
She's going there.
And they somehow
as-
know this?
As
They've,
people
like,
often do make their trip from Malta to New York. It's a regular travel route, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think there's a hub.
So the dog is but of course Felix suggests, oh yeah, I'll go and get the dog back to her, and I'll get a reward out of it. So even better, I win both ways. And Flynn is immediately like, no, you moron. You don't go and give the dog back, because then it'll be obvious that you did it, you moron. So just let the dog be found by her, and everyone can be happy, and it'll all be fine, and you'll get away with it, and the microfilm will get transported, and that will be the end of the story. Great.
So also there's a threat hanging over Felix's head. If he screws up, then he'll have to deal with Vernon Dobchev, and that would be very bad. For
that
Felix
would be very bad. Yes.
Costa.
Yes, exactly. So, meanwhile, Harry Rule, with his binoculars, has just been watching this entire scene unfold. So immediately, we're halfway through the episode.
Oh, man.
Harry Rule now knows who stole the dog, why the dog was stolen, and what they intend to do with the dog next. It's all on the table. It's all out there.
There's no mystery or suspense about this whatsoever.
Yeah.
He knows everything that we know.
At that point, Harry could just very easily have just stood up from behind the rock he was hiding behind and gone, hey, you, don't do that. I've caught you now. End of episode. That could have been it.
That would be 2 against 1. And Harry Rule has never. Oh wait, he's Harry Rule. He sometimes takes on whole rooms full of goons.
He can beat up whoever he likes whenever he likes. Not an issue. Not a problem. But no. Instead, Harry decides to do nothing.
Yes.
Basically, absolutely nothing.
He waits in the wings.
They go back to the hotel. Harry
all together.
Harry, not all together, presumably in separate cars. One would hope.
Which why the thing about this, another thing about this, is if the dude Vernon Dobchev was gonna go to the hotel anyway to keep an eye on Felix and make sure that he does this job properly, which he does. That's what happens. Why did he need to take him 30 minutes away from the hotel to meet in the wind? It's just, there's no point.
Well, why did he hire Felix in the first place? Why didn't he just catch the dog and tie the microfilm to its collar?
If he had just done this for himself, everything would have been fine. It's only Felix's incompetence that messes up this plan.
Yeah. So
and he knows that Felix is incompetent. Because that's why he's there, to make sure that the job gets done.
Yeah. So anyway, Harry goes back to the hotel, tells Rita, I know where your dog is. Doesn't reveal anything more than that, but they have a quick smooch. They have a bit of a smooch, so already things are hotting up there. But then Harry notices that Flynn is sitting right there in the hotel lobby, which again, why has Flynn gone back to the hotel? He doesn't need to be there. He's just given Felix the microfilm to go and put it on the dog. Flynn could go away and not get caught up in any of this, which I would assume was the intention of hiring someone else to hide the microfilm in the first place, was that he wouldn't have to get caught up in it.
He's also doing the hilarious comedy thing of hiding behind a newspaper the whole time. He's definitely not. That's definitely not someone you should pay attention to.
Yeah, so subtle. So anyway, Harry's immediately like, oh, hang on, better stay away from this Flynn guy. Even though Harry knows that Flynn is the bad guy, Harry knows that he handed over the microfilm. So there's nothing more that needs to be done here. This is it. The investigation is complete. We don't need to allow any more of this to unfold.
But we will, Jack. We will let more of it unfold because we are about to get a hilarious comedy scene. Are you ready?
Oh, it's so funny. Come on,
It's
man.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Poor Felix has a very nervous disposition, and he is struggling to cut a hole in this dog collar with a fine penknife.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Mary, his assistant, audacious and bodacious assistant, has provided the dog with a bowl of liver cooked in milk. Looks positively disgusting. And whilst the dog is eating and Felix is at work with this microfilm, he manages to drop the microfilm into the bowl of food. The dog eats the microfilm, and now we have the basis for the second and final act.
The second act. Now things are getting interesting. The dog has eaten the microfilm.
Isn't that a twist that you didn't see coming?
It's pretty remarkable stuff. I enjoyed I think it is commented on in the episode where they're like, why did you get such a tiny dog with such a tiny collar? Put this. It would have been so much easier if you'd had a Labrador with a big collar. You could have stitched it into that. Like, why has it got to be the tiny little poodle?
Absolutely crackers. This whole thing is crackers.
Whatever. So yeah, that is essentially those two scenes kind of cover the story. Basically, really, there's not a lot else. Honestly, we could stop here. We're not going to because there's a lot of weird stuff still to come. But
truly weird,
not great. And Sherwood Price milking it for all it's worth. Oh no, I dropped it in the food. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I can't believe it.
It's pretty bad.
Yes,
it's pretty bad.
Yeah. So then
this
Flynn
show just devolves into us bursting into tears.
Then Flynn, the guy who shouldn't even be here anymore, he starts asking Rita and Harry, "What? Oh, I heard about your dog." Like,
why does he do this?
Why are you even engaging? I mean, why are you here? Why are you engaging in conversation at all? Why are you drawing attention to this thing that Harry already knows you did?
Yeah, what's the point? Why ask her about the dog?
Yeah, I don't know why that. Well, yeah, it's just so we can have
Once
another
again,
scene. It's just so we can have another scene with poor Linda leaning over with half her chest hanging out. For the benefit of the scene. That's all it is. There's nothing else of value is happening here. That's all it is.
Rita, once again, has not realized the incredibly obvious evil baddie man is evil or a baddie.
Yeah.
And so she's clueless, and Harry's like, he's trouble.
Yeah.
Trouble. Very specific.
Like trying to imply he doesn't quite know what he's up to, but you know exactly what he's up to this whole time. So I don't know whether he's trying to protect Rita from getting involved in the plot. That's why he's being so coy and not completing the investigation further. I don't know, but
maybe the wind blew away the dialogue, and so Robert Vaughn couldn't hear it.
The script was just lying next to the pool. And the wind just blew away the second half. So they just went, well, we've lost the one and only copy of Tony Barwick's masterpiece script. So we'll just make up the
Wouldn't that
rest.
Wouldn't that be something if there was a Tony Barwick version of this story that was actually good and it was lost and they just improvised this on the set instead?
I don't know.
That scene mercifully ends and we go to the most disturbing image of all time. Sherwood Price poised over a defenseless puppy holding a knife, clearly intending to disembowel this creature, this poor innocent creature, in order to recover his lost microfilm. And what I love about this, Jack, now I'm not saying that you ever would feel the need to disembowel an animal.
It's never come up.
To recover some lost property. But if you did have to do that. If you had no alternative, where?
I mean,
what
I would.
location
I would at least
you
put.
choose?
I would at least put a tarpaulin down or something. Some
He's-
plastic sheet to clear up the mess or something.
He's
certainly.
preparing to dissect a living animal on his bed. He's on his bed in the hotel room. He's put down a little bath towel and that's it. And he's going to commit animal sacrifice to go full Island of Dr. Moreau in his own bedchamber, ladies and gentlemen. This was actually his plan.
And his girlfriend Mary is fine with it.
Her job during this operation is to hold the dog down and make sure it doesn't look at him because he gets uncomfortable with the cute puppy dog eyes looking at him as he's poised over it with, I think it's like a steak knife. It's not even the appropriate. The pen knife would have been better.
Calling down to the hotel reception saying, "Hello, I need a knife." "What kind of knife do you need, Mr. Felix Costa?" "Well, I need to, let's just say I need to cut some meat."
If I were to say, perform an operation on a small animal, what sort of knife would you recommend?
Yeah.
The bounds of credulity have
It's
gone so far beyond reason.
it's a horribly dark. It just, the humor just doesn't land with it at all.
No.
It's too dark. I could see that it is a funny joke, but not in this. Not in situ.
I think the fact that we're laughing at it makes it seem as if it's funny.
It is funny, but it's not funny where it is. You just go,
The
"What
idea
are
of it,
you doing?"
but
The idea
execution
is
doesn't
quite
at all.
funny. Yeah. Anyway, he doesn't go through with it. He chickens out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the key thing. It's not like he weighs up, you know what, this is kind of impractical. We're going to make a mess. This is all going to go wrong. The reason he doesn't go through with it is purely selfish in that he can't personally deal with the guts and the gore of it. Mary doesn't exactly volunteer to step in and do it for him, but she seems a lot more okay with the whole situation.
It's just madness.
Yeah.
I've got it pulled up and I'm looking at she's holding the dog. She's got one hand around its back and one hand kind of around its chest. So she's basically encapsulated this little fluff ball completely. And he's standing over it with a knife like this. Where is he going to strike the killing blow without hurting his
Why does he need to
accomplice?
start up there as well?
Well,
It's a tiny. You don't need that much force.
No. This whole
It
thing
would go
is just-
straight through. Bearing in mind, the microfilm was small enough to fit inside the dog's collar. Does he really think, as an untrained, I assume he has no veterinary qualifications, how on earth does he
Seems
think
safe
he's going to be
assumption.
able to root through this dog's intestines and find the tiny little microfilm in there?
Oh no. Oh no. This is
As
terrible.
Erendil1316 says in the chat, so they didn't think of letting nature take its course. Well, we'll
well.
get to that. But in the meantime, not
They
thinking,
flee for their lives.
not thinking
running
of that, they decide, no, we're done, we're out. draw the line at cutting a dog open. So they run. They grab their suitcases. They are getting out of that hotel.
Mhm.
That's it. Unfortunately, their escape route takes them right next to the pool where everyone is.
This also makes no sense because clearly there's an entrance,
We've seen it. We know where
an alternate exit. They clearly are taking the worst possible route
well, and
to get out of the hotel.
it's even weirder if you actually know the layout of that hotel. If you exit via the
do
pool
tell.
at the back of the hotel, you're gonna fall off a cliff.
Oh,
It's right on the edge of, or it was right on the edge of a cliff. So the only way out really is to go through the front door. As far as I could ascertain anyway from looking at it. So yeah.
darling, I've been thinking about what we've been trying to do, and this business of killing a dog, it's given me an attack of the conscience, and I've decided I'm going to jump off a cliff to atone for my sins. Goodbye, Mary.
I mean, you think about it. Felix is the sort of person who would do that, just purely to draw attention to himself. You know,
I guess
I'm gonna do it, Mary. I'm gonna jump off that cliff. I'm gonna do it.
standing on the edge of the cliff, maybe, but
Yeah.
not jump.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
clearly there's no way for him to exit.
Meanwhile, crucially, as they run out the door with their cases, little Muffin, escapes with their life. We're very lucky they haven't been cut open. Nothing's wrong with them. So little Muffin escapes down the corridor to fight another day. Then I've just written madness at the pool accompanied by mad fast music. I wish I could tell you exactly what happens.
Dobchev is there with his newspaper. Harry Rule is hanging out by the pool. What's her name sees her dog. Rita sees her dog.
She spots the dog. Yeah.
The dog comes out to the pool too because everybody else is at the pool, so why not? There's a chase scene and a fight scene.
They go through. Yeah. So it's a bit complicated what happens here. It's not very clear, but basically, Rita spots her dog. She can see the dog, but it runs away again.
Oh, right. She doesn't catch the dog yet.
She doesn't catch the dog yet.
And who starts chasing Felix?
Harry and another guy who I think is employed by Flynn, but I'm not sure.
He's got a gun.
He's just a guy with a gun, goes chasing after Felix. They run through the hotel kitchens. They end up in the hotel's sort of basement boiler room thing. It's suddenly turns into some sort of weird industrial setting underneath this hotel.
Suddenly it's an episode of Blake 7.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly what it looks like. Yeah. Yeah, very odd. Felix pleads for his life. Harry ends up taking out the guy with the gun who was going to shoot Felix for messing up the whole plan. Meanwhile, Mary has explained to Flynn what's gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So Flynn decides he needs to do something about it. Cut to a beach. Now, I'm sad to say I don't know exactly where this beach is, but it's a beach in Malta.
Clearly not very far from the hotel.
Probably not very far. Well, maybe. I don't know. They did drive 30 minutes to get to the other location, so maybe it was near there.
That's true, but
it's a windy day. It's a windy day, so who knows? But Flynn has found the dog.
Yes.
Somehow.
So the dog is a Hufflepuff because he's used his powers of disapparition to apparate from the hotel to the beach.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've got to assume it's not far from the hotel, but yes, the dog has somehow made a great distance of getting from the pool.
For a tiny little dog, it seems like even if the beach was like right out of shot, it's still quite a distance for the dog.
Well, as I say, there was a cliff in the way. So did the dog jump off the cliff in order to get down to the beach? Don't think
But-
about it too hard.
We get this lovely sequence of this evil industrial spy chasing a little dog around,
Yeah.
saying, here, dog, come here, you blasted dog." It's a lovely bit of business.
So I'm like, oh yes, that's exactly how you try and attract a dog, by putting on your most evil, menacing voice possible. That's
what
exactly
I
how
always
you
do.
entice a little puppy to come and say hello to you. Yeah.
I always do that, and I can't keep the dachshunds away from me.
Yeah.
No, but when he finally catches up with the little dog, he's got it cornered, and Harry Rule is coming to save the day, of course. But
Of course.
he puts away his gun and picks up a stick and moves towards the dog.
Well, he doesn't want to
And-
accidentally shoot the dog, clearly.
But why not?
I mean, look,
He
I would
might
have
damage the
thought Harry Rule would be a good enough shot to be able to hit Flynn and not the
No,
not the dog.
Flynn puts away his gun.
Oh,
and
Flynn
picks
puts away
up the
his gun.
stick
Oh,
and moves
yeah, okay.
to assassinate the dog with a
Yes.
stick.
Well,
Supposing he comes
Okay.
at us with a pointed stick.
very good. But I maybe okay. Well, all right. Flip the argument there. Maybe Flynn
Okay.
isn't a good enough shot because it's a tiny dog. Maybe he doesn't feel like he
Right.
can shoot a dog at point blank range. No. Okay, no. I know why. It's because
Okay,
if he
on the
shoots the
stick.
dog in the wrong place, he's going to lose the microfilm.
Right. So his next
So he's going to bludgeon the dog to death with a stick. I agree. That's not necessarily better.
just the choice of they have a fight sequence that's actually pretty well choreographed, other than the fact that
Sure.
it doesn't make any sense.
Sure.
And they just keep cutting away to reaction shots from the dog. Like Robert Vaughn throws punch, the hitman reels back. I've been hit by Robert Vaughn, fists of steel. Ugh. Cut to the dog being like,
Well, Robert
What-
Vaughn's
are we
directing.
doing?
I imagine Robert Vaughn maybe liked the idea of his dog, his own dog, let's not forget, being impressed by his master's fighting skills. I'm going to direct a
Okay.
scene where my dog watches me fight a guy in order to save its life, and I'll be the hero. And yeah.
that's great.
Mm. Anyway, the
great.
dog runs away.
Yes.
Again. The dog runs away from the scene. Flynn has been dealt with.
Yes. A straight right cross solving the day once again.
Yes. Meanwhile, back at the hotel pool,
Somehow there's
Rita-
still 4 minutes of runtime left.
Oh yeah, oh boy. Rita now really wants to find her dog.
She didn't before.
She didn't before, but now she's pulling out the big guns. In that, she is offering a reward of a big hug and $10,000. Big hug? Oh, okay. $10,000. Oh, I mean, you had me at big hug. Come on.
There's also a bit where when she says a big hug, the Culver City guy jumps up immediately, and his
In-
wife
in the
is
pr-
like, "Sit back down."
Well, you've got to do all the obvious jokes, haven't you?
Yep.
Anyway, so immediately everyone at the pool erupts into a frenzy, either because they really want $10,000, or more importantly, they want a big hug from her. So everyone erupts into a frenzy of like looking for this dog,
Uh-huh.
including Felix,
Yes.
who has seemingly gotten away with it. He just sits
Right.
there by the pool feeling sorry for himself and goes, well, hang on a minute. I can still win out of this. If I find the dog, I'll get the $10,000 reward and the big hug. So he starts looking for the dog and absent-mindedly starts feeling up the is it the wife of Jonathan P.
Ultimately,
Hackett?
yes. He basically just starts looking everywhere for this dog, And of course, because this is comedy, he starts looking under the skirts of various ladies, one of whom turns out to be the wife of his nemesis, the Culver City man, which results in Felix being hurled into the pool, which results in basically everyone going into the pool.
Yes, because Rita does find the dog.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle of this chaos, Rita finds the dog.
Wrapped up in a towel.
Yes.
Happy as
safe
can
and
be.
sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Harry
And then-
tries to make an announcement that the dog is fine. But everyone no longer cares about the dog. They're having so much fun jumping in and out of the pool in all
Yeah.
their clothes that they throw Harry into the pool. Who cares about the little dog? We're having fun. And,
That's just in case anyone's wondering, that is literally a line of dialogue from the episode. That's not just us making stuff. That is literally what Culver City guy says.
I wish we, the audience, were having fun.
I'm having fun, but not for the right reasons. So everyone's in the pool, and you kind of at that point go, okay, end of episode. Fine.
Yeah.
Great. No.
It's like a nice ending.
It's not the end. We have
there's
one more scene. Because, believe it or not, there is some level of commitment to the plot. I guess when Tony Barwick's script blew away, maybe the last page stayed
Was
intact. Because we have this last scene in the I assume it's like the office of Gel or Gel, the hotel manager, where they have called in a doctor who has an X-ray of the dog, or a dog anyway. To be honest, it doesn't look much like an X-ray of a tiny little poodle, but it's an X-ray that clearly shows there's no microfilm inside this dog.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Harry reveals that, well, first of all, reveals that the microfilm contained plans for the latest atomic power plant. That Flynn was an industrial spy, was trying to, get these smuggled into the US for some reason. So, okay, fine, whatever. Makes it a little bit more protectors-y. We've got a little bit of espionage going on.
Yes, there's something protectors-y about that.
Yeah. As
Finally.
I say, it is like
The
Tony Barwick
final
suddenly
60 seconds.
suddenly remembered what show they were making and had to fix the script accordingly. But they go, okay, the microfilm's no longer in the dog. Where is it? What happened? Harry starts to tell a very protracted story about a cow that swallows a fly, or a fly that swallows a cow.
Yes, an Arkansas farmer told him this tale.
Right. Anyway, I think you can all use your imaginations. If the microfilm is no longer in the dog, and the dog ate that microfilm, and now it's no longer there, well, it's obviously left through other means. And as we saw earlier, the dog was running around Malta quite happily by itself for at least a little bit of time. And so the conclusion is that the whereabouts of the microfilm is, well, it could be practically anywhere on the island.
Yes. I don't know. I always leave this episode feeling a bit flabbergasted by what I've just witnessed. That at the end of all of that nonsense, the sort of like conclusion of the nonsense is, you know what's funny? Dog poo exists. And that's the end of the thing.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, Jack, but whenever I hear really intense hyperbole about something like, oh, this is the best band ever, this is the worst hamburger ever cooked, I'm always like, well, okay, but that's obviously harsh. It's a bit rhetorical to say This is the worst episode of anything that Gerry Anderson's name was ever attached to. Probably a bit harsh. I always go in with that attitude of being like, that's a bit harsh. But honestly, right here, right now, I don't know. I have a hard time with this episode.
Yeah, it takes the wind out of your sails a little bit when you go through the process of watching through the Protectors, and then you come to this episode, and you may have a few episodes left afterwards. You kind of go, "Oh, you know what? Never mind."
Well, and that's a shame too, because a lot of the better material of the Protectors is in the second season, and this is towards the end of the first season. So
yes,
I think in most, if not all, episode running orders, they put it towards the back of that block.
Actually, worth pointing out that this, in terms of where it falls in production order and stuff like that, they're basically, I think Malta was the last, at least overseas location filming that they did for the first series of the Protectors. And it's interesting because I did some research in my attempts to find out as much about the Investigator as possible, and a lovely group called Filmed in Malta sent me some newspaper clippings from the period about Gerry Anderson and his team coming to Malta to make both the Protectors and the Investigator. And it's interesting because Gerry Anderson had good things to say about filming in Malta. He enjoyed it. That's probably why they went back to then do the Investigator there. The Malta as a location was kind of blossoming in the 1970s. It had sort of opened up its doors to lots of filmmaking, and it had established a film studio on the island, which specifically specialized. They had a huge, I think it might still be the hugest water tank for filming, one of the largest in the world. So they could do all sorts of interesting kind of special effects stuff out there. But anyway, so
amazing.
So, but what this all comes down to is that first season of the Protectors. Gerry talks about in his biography how it was very stressful going through all these locations in Europe, and sometimes it would be really disorganized and chaotic, and you'd have people flying back and forth all the time. Sounds like they got to Malta and things had sort of started to stabilize a little bit. Then you get to this, where Robert Vaughn's insisting on directing an episode. Sherwood Price is, trying to call the shots as well. Like, there are these forces in the production that are maybe clashing with each other and have been clashing with each other the whole time. Gerry finally gives in, supposedly on Lew Grade's recommendation, to just let them
Turn
have
them
an
loose.
episode. Let them do it. So the question really among all of this is, where was Gerry Anderson during all of this? I suspect he really wasn't involved.
He was by the pool in a different hotel.
Well, I'll tell you my vision. Is he's just had a conversation with Robert Vaughn, where Robert's insisting, I'm directing this next episode, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Your production's a load of rubbish. I'm gonna take over. Gerry goes, fine. You have this one. Do what you want. I'm just gonna hang out on the beach. He goes to a beach. He sits there quietly, alone, thinking back on the days of Thunderbirds and Stingray and Captain Scarlet and all those successful puppet shows that he'd been making just a few years earlier.
Those were the days.
And he sits there and he's looking at this location. He's going, gosh, this is, it's a beautiful place. It's such a shame that we're making, it could be practically anywhere on the island. It's such a shame that I'm having this falling out with this actor.
Yes.
It's such a shame that there's all these people here, trying to interfere. Wouldn't it be nice to go back to the puppets? And he sits on that beach
in
and he
Malta.
goes, puppets in Malta.
Ooh.
And what about vehicles? And we could I know Dinky really want to make these toys.
Dinky would buy some toys from us.
They really want to make these toys, Ben.
For the children.
For the
children.
No more excessive cleavage and jokes about dog excrement. We can make a show for the children. And that is how we got to The Investigator. Which
That's
we'll
it.
talk
That's
about
100%
another
it.
edition of the show.
The only other thing that I can add is that on Chris Dale's lovely podcast, The Randomizer,
Lovely, yes.
which is
yes,
a
of course, yes.
segment of the Gerry Anderson podcast and a podcast in its own right. You can listen to it either way. He reviewed this episode some years ago, and in it, he claimed that Robert Vaughn and his wife and friends and family would bring out a copy of this film to watch every year on Christmas Day as part of their festivities. They would bring out the screen and the projector and play. It could be practically anywhere on the island just for a laugh, to reminisce about those silly times and that all the hijinks they got up to. I keep using the word hijinks because
It's
it
the appropriate
sums up
word. It
pretty
sums
well.
it up. Yeah.
what this is all about.
So in a way, everyone got what they wanted out of this. Except, crucially, the viewers at home.
Yeah,
Because
we're the big losers, aren't we?
what it comes down to is this is the worst rated episode of The Protectors. People don't like it, but people don't have good things to say about it. Now,
Yeah.
to that end, we have a few social media comments. Funnily enough, Facebook and Blue Sky and everywhere else did not exactly light up at the prospect of us watching this episode. We didn't go viral because we suggested we might be watching it could be practically anywhere on the island.
Darn.
But nevertheless, we did have some comments from our lovely viewers and listeners. Thank you everyone who did contribute to the conversation. And we start with Chris Dale, who
Hello.
simply offers a gif of Jean-Luc Picard holding his head in shame, in disappointment. So make of that what you will. Meanwhile, Mark Perkins, who I believe is watching us today, hello Mark,
Hello, Mark.
says, despite owning a box set of The Protectors, I've never been able to force myself to watch this episode until now, given how it's widely regarded as being so bad. I suppose it wasn't as terrible as it could have been, but it was still pretty poor. Nonsensical plot, overacting, cutting from one location to another with no explanation, numerous continuity errors. It's got everything that you wouldn't want it to have. And it doesn't even fall into the category of so bad that it's good. The one thing that you can say in its favor, though, is that, like all Protectors episodes, it doesn't hang about. 25 minutes and it's all done. You can't help being more than a little suspicious that Robert Vaughn, in directing the episode, gave himself as much on-screen time kissing and holding hands with the actress who eventually became his wife as he possibly could. Perhaps he slipped Tony Barwick a fiver to rewrite his scenes? Here's one last observation for you. Okay. Why did this episode remind me of the first Star Wars film? Any ideas, Ben?
I don't know. Why?
The answer is that both of them could easily have been made redundant by the invention of emails with attachments. Because of the Death Star plans in Arctic.
Yeah, I get it.
You know,
I get it.
you see the power. It's like poetry; they rhyme.
Oh no.
Right. Well,
read
moving
the
on.
rest of the comments.
Sure. Well, moving on. Adam Luff says,
"Hello.
I hate it. You hate it. Commander Shaw hates it. Paul Foster hates it. SPV hates it. Venus hates it. Yuri the Space Bear hates it. Also, April 1st? Come on. What are you really watching? Yeah, some people fell for our little subterfuge of doing this on April 1st, thinking that maybe we'd be watching something. No, we really are.
Let's be honest. Our subterfuge was about as good as Felix Costa's.
Yeah, afraid so. Crazy Jake 2004 just says, "Uh-oh."
I think that sums it up really well.
Well, we have one more. Simpsons Clips 24 says, "All I can say is this. Forget the Cray twins. It was Robert Vaughn and Tony Barwick who really got away with murder." I don't think they got away with
Simpsons
it.
Clips 24.
I don't think they got away with it.
Woo!
Well, everyone, that was our show.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Now,
What a show it's been.
I think
Are there
it's
people
very...
still watching? Are people still in the chat?
I don't know. It was lovely to have you for as long as we did. Now, I do want to quickly, before we wrap up, say that, yes, this episode may have been a little unremarkable, shall we say. We covered a topic that maybe not many people would take much notice of. But don't worry, because we actually... Seriously now, I don't know why it sounds like I'm making this up, but no, seriously, we actually do have some pretty special episodes coming up. Next week on the Security Hazard Show, it is our 50th episode, which we think is quite a decent landmark to reach.
Yes.
Pretty amazed that
Who would have thought it?
that we're still here. So episode 50, we're doing something special, and I will in fact reveal now. We are going to be... I am going to reveal it. We don't normally do that. I like to sometimes hold it back and let people... But I think people need time to prepare and maybe want to go and watch this for themselves. We are going to be reviewing the Thunderbirds feature film, Thunderbirds Are Go, from 1966, starring, well, among many other things, the Zero X. That is what we are going to be covering for our 50th episode. Very special indeed.
Wow.
Yeah, so look forward to that. If you are like, the Protectors, I'm not so into that. Hopefully, we're redeeming ourselves a little bit by talking about possibly what Gerry and Sylvia Anderson often considered the kind of the pinnacle of their careers.
Yes, indeed.
We're kind of flipping it totally on its head here.
And that's a complete feature film, so I think it's going to be a bumper episode.
We are going to have a lot to say about that. So tune in for that next week. Following that, our next episode takes place, I believe it will be April 15th when it comes out, which is the day after Gerry Anderson Day.
Ooh.
Now, we're sure that lots of other outlets will have things going on for Gerry Anderson Day, but the day after, we've got something planned that I won't actually spoil what it is yet, but we got something special planned that's a little bit different. It's not what you might expect, but it's our way of paying tribute to Gerry Anderson, and let's just say some of his origins as a filmmaker, where he kind of got started. So we're looking forward to doing that. Then
it's going to be great.
But wait, Ben, it doesn't stop there, because
There's
then
more?
the week after that will be episode 52, which will be the first anniversary of this podcast.
Wow.
It will be I think it'll be a year and 1 day since we started the podcast with our very first episode.
Wow.
So we also have some special stuff planned for episode 52.
Goodness me.
So
I'm gonna need a rest after all that.
Stay tuned for 3 solid weeks of the Security Hazard Show firing on all cylinders.
I'm gonna need a vacation in Malta at the end of all that.
Well, we hope that very much makes up for it could be practically anywhere on the island.
Yes. if there's anything we can do to atone, please let us know.
Yeah, well, thank you all very much, nevertheless, for tuning in to today's show. Make sure that you're subscribed on YouTube, youtube.com/JackNoll. That is the way that you can join in the conversation live and catch us every single week live, Wednesdays at 6 p.m. UK time. But of course, you can also find us on lots of other audio platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, Amazon Music, I think, has us as well. Like we're all over the place. Just look for the Security Hazard Show. You'll find us there. But Ben,
Yes, Jack.
But wait, Ben, I can't believe I'm going to ask this, but
You never asked me this question.
if people really enjoyed what we did today, they thought that was quality. I want to support these guys. I
If
want to
you-
make things happen.
Cannot get enough Security Hazard, then the place to go is patreon.com/Security Hazard. And boy, howdy, do we have a lot on there for you.
Yes.
We've just done a Thunderbirds commentary, going
Mhm.
into detail on an episode Ricochet. We're going to be doing an episode of Supercar next, which
Yes,
I'm
we
really
are.
excited about.
You can
our
head over
patrons
there
are
right now.
voting on that.
Yes, go over there. It's the vote is actually open to anyone. You just have to sign in, and then anyone can vote on it. But the finished commentary itself will be something exclusive to our members. But if you want to get in there and sway the vote, you can still do that. So patreon.com/security hazard to go and submit your vote and get access to, as Ben said, ton of other stuff, including the music, which has been underlying the whole show, not the organ arrangement of
No,
avenues and
goodness
alleyways at the
no.
beginning. Not that part. That was brilliant, but that
Nothing
wasn't
quite
us.
so brilliant or elaborate as that.
No, but if you enjoy the jazzy bed of music that runs underneath the Security Hazard show every single week, Ben, you have in fact provided that whole track to our
Yes.
Patreons to just go and download and listen to whenever they like.
You are a patron of this show. You can go to our Patreon page, download that track at your leisure, and maybe start your own rival podcast, maybe called the Security Hazard Show, and have the same exact music and everything. Maybe puppet versions of me and Jack in Super Mario Nation style on a beach in Malta.
Sure.
This would be a great podcast. Yes,
yeah.
but even if you just sign up for a free account on Patreon and vote in the poll, that really helps us out a lot.
Yes, it does.
So we
Yeah.
very much appreciate any support you can offer us on that front. It does not go unnoticed. We appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing.
It is very great. It's better than it gets. Certainly, I'm pretty confident that anything we've put on our Patreon is better than it could be practically anywhere on the island. I'll go that.
Agree with that 100%.
Thank you. I'm glad we agreed on that. But for everything else, it could be practically everything else related to Security Hazard can be found on our website, securityhazard.net. That's
right.
the place to go for blog posts. All the podcasts go up on there. Every podcast has a dedicated page where you can find images and sometimes videos. In fact, today I'll be putting up the video that we played at the beginning of the Avenues and Alleyways cover. That'll be available there. So yeah, head to securityhazard.net. That's where you can find everything you could possibly need, as well as links to my social media where you can join in the conversation. Ben, where can people find you?
All of my social media links are on benwolf.page.
There you go. Lovely stuff. Well, that was all for today. Now, if you don't mind, I hear that there's something very important somewhere in Malta, and I'm going to go looking for it. So,
Jack, the biodegraded is a thing. Like, I'm sure it's not still there. I don't think the
it would have been-
microfilm
would have been
lasts
tiny,
that
wouldn't
long.
it? I mean, a little poodle like that is not going to make a big mess, is it?
One would certainly hope not, but it does live on a diet of liver cooked in milk.
Ooh, it's going to go.
This is dreadful.
Ooh,
Oh,
going to go
Ugh.
straight through.
yeah, and it wasn't that long. It didn't have very long to digest that food either. Ugh.
Sorry, everyone. See you next week. Thunderbirds, I'll go. We promise it'll be good.
FAB.
Maybe.